Welcome, everyone, to the Relay Throw Season 2, Mac Country, Let's Ride. I got my co-host, Andrew Hard. I am in Talmadge Court this week.
He's not in court. He didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong. I'm on Talmadge Street in Talmadge Court, Apartment 9. I have COVID. The COVID situation here is still very much a thing. I was feeling kind of crappy this week. I got tested, hence here I am. I'm fine, Shout out to Vexo for the wonderful food choices I get. We don't have to go into my.
You gotta kiss up to them now.
I guess so. I guess so. Except they won't answer my calls because I don't eat the food today. But I just take away all my meal swipes. Anyway, don't want to. Shout out to Vexo. This is going to be my flu game. I don't think I've recorded when sick before. I don't know, got sick like 17 times because of freshman flu last semester. But I'm doing good. Watching some college football today.
Shot.
Can't go after that too much. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm good. We're off to a great start to today. Texas plus 21.5. Good teams win, great teams cover.
Bam. Cover. Love that game. Love that pick, first off.
Yep.
Everyone doubted you, too.
Everyone doubted me.
Yeah.
It was Andrew against the world. But I told you.
You did.
5-star recruits, they're not losing by over 21 points. Give me a break. Nick Saban 1-2.
Horns up.
Against his former assistants, past 3 meetings.
Horns up.
Horns up. It's also the Marist.
Oh, wow. Jonathan's already shooting us some horns down. Unbelievable. Anyway, we should probably get to introducing him. But maybe, yeah. Well,
No. Just leave him there. Leave him there. He deserves to be on the... Never mind.
But why are we... You want to tell the people why we're here?
Do you want me to tell the people?
I can tell them. You can tell them, too. I got it.
Dan, I'd feel honored to tell the people. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, go ahead.
This man to the bottom of the screen is the new editor-in-chief of Center Field, the president of SPJ, Jonathan Kinane, Syracuse native. How are you doing?
Andrew, we are doing phenomenal today. Dan, best wishes with the COVID situation. I know people who have been in Talmadge, and I can tell you most of them made it out alive. But yeah, Andrew, I was roasting you in the Slack. I thought Alabama would kill Texas.
Everyone doubted me.
Now I don't know how I'm going to pay the rest of my college tuition, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But happy to be on your guys' podcast. It's been a busy first couple of weeks of the semester, getting settled in Center Field, and definitely with SPJ. Shout out to Dr. Lerner there. But honored to be on the podcast. I think last time we did this was back in winter, spring
season.
I think it was Atlantic City.
Season, yeah.
It was a wonderful time for Marist basketball. You're our most common guest now. So
wow.
For now, but I think you probably and we're gonna have you on obviously a lot for basketball season. And hey, maybe do some more football stuff later, as we all were at the field for that Georgetown Marist game, which was something else.
That was an experience. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit, but it was definitely cool to have 4 people there representing Center Field.
Just a little preview into what Center Field's got going on. We have a lot of big plans this semester and the next semester. But I'm really excited. The crew looks good this year. A lot of returning people. Happy to work with my boy Andrew for the 2nd season of the Relay Throw. It's gonna be sad. I'm not gonna think about it, but he's not gonna be here next year, so we're gonna make sure this content counts.
I can come back as a guest. Don't rule me out.
You're not allowed back. It's
okay. So this is a permanent suspension. It's a ban.
Suspension.
Jonathan knows a thing or two about suspensions. Not himself, but adjudicating suspensions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Marist is back on the map. The MAC is back on the map. It's
So is the
MAC
PFL for that matter.
PFL is certainly back. That's not necessarily a good thing, but
They came back in a big way.
yeah.
Pioneer Football League, the pioneer of the FCS.
You want to just get into it? You want to just
Let's ride. Let's ride.
let's ride. So Georgetown Marist, supposed to happen last year, got canceled. I forget why.
It was oh yeah, you forget why. Oh,
Why are
wait,
you in?
COVID
Why are
was a
you?
thing.
Why are you in Talmadge?
Yeah.
Good point. I am in Talmadge. Yep, COVID. I guess I was tuned. I probably wasn't even in center field when that game was supposed to happen.
Well, also canceled in 2020 because of course Marist didn't have a season. But
Right.
usually they're a yearly opponent, and
yeah,
things didn't go too well.
The Marist didn't lose at all by 40 last year, and they lost by 41 this year, I think, or 31.
31.
31.
We're not math majors here.
I think the stat you're thinking of is they didn't give up 40 or more.
They didn't give up 40 points
last year.
They
Yeah,
had given up 40 points. It was bad. It looked okay to start, actually.
the defense was big that first quarter. They stopped 2 fourth downs in the red zone. On big Georgetown drives where they just drove down the field running the ball on Marist, which Georgetown's had a struggle running the ball the past few years, and they just drove it right down Marist's throat last week.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I kind of want to find the stat sheet, but
Stately, Georgetown's running back had 100 something yards. It was the first time they had a 100-yard rusher in like 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the last time that happened was against Marist.
It was like Marist you know what? I think I wrote this as Bucknell, who Marist will face the last game of the season this year.
Yeah.
That's interesting too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
that's an interesting quirk on the schedule for sure. Maybe we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was
sure.
definitely a tough one.
Just some more stuff about our center field presence at this game. So we had 4 people. It was us 3 and our boy Nick Vete. Andrew was I want to say the writing captain. He was
captain.
I designate you captain. You
captain,
were
my captain.
Capitan.
Yeah, you had the gamer. I'd say that's captain worthy.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll give you the honorary captain of the week.
I was in my Sunday red on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You were definitely definitely in your prime.
I was in the zone.
You know what we need to do, Andrew? We need if we send like a bunch of people up to the press box again for another game, we have to sew a C into your shirt.
Oh,
so
yes.
Everyone knows you're captain.
A large sticker. No, just a sticker. Yeah. We don't have the budget to sew it.
Oh, I think we can sew it.
Think so? Go to the equipment manager and yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that.
Is it Rob's the equipment manager for the football?
Yeah, we could have Rob do it.
True.
Brian Ramos.
Brian Ramos, Mr. Marist on the map.
Shout out Ramos.
Center field on the map. So, okay, so I finally pulled up this box score. It's nothing really pretty to look at. I think the most notable thing, obviously I wrote about Brock Bagasse. Bagasse, I still have Bagasse, yeah.
So wait, can I interject here?
Go ahead.
Quickly. So being a native of Syracuse, Bagasse comes from a family that actually runs a funeral home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Bagasse twins funeral home out of Solvay, New York. So it's kind of weird to see him on the roster. I was like, oh, this family deals with dead people. So
that's it's not a different Bagasse line. It's his line.
I don't know if he's like the son or the nephew or something, but he's in the
name.
line. Sure. Yeah.
I think one of the most interesting things going into this game is we were sitting down. Jonathan was, out and about taking photos, and I'm about to start writing my gamer, and we get a tip that Coach Parody is not starting Brock Bagazi solo. He says that Diego Arroyo is going to get some snaps in this game.
Ferraro, by the way, before we get into this, sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
This was Mike Ferraro, the SID of Marist Football, who told us this. In this game, he had to run, like, triple duty. He was the SID, he was the PA announcer, he was all over the place. And
I don't think
he just quickly left his PA duties. He did the intro, ran to us and said, "By the way, guys, I don't know if you know this. Coach was thinking about starting Diego Arroyo maybe the first few drives. But he's gonna share the load of Bagozi." And we're just looking at each other.
Nailed that. Excuse my language. You nailed that.
Leave that out.
You nailed that. Oh my god.
Hey, lots of conversations. I love that man.
I mean, yeah, Ferraro just joined the podcast.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Tenny Stadium on the banks of the Hudson River.
Shout out Ferraro though. He always looks after us.
Yeah. Always hard at work. There's a great feature on Centerfield's website about his nonstop schedule.
Yeah. So Jonathan, I got a question for you. So you wrote that article this week about the team and how that early bye week is going to kill them. I'm going to be honest, I haven't read it yet.
That's completely fine.
In the interview after the game, so we all know how it went. Just a short summary: the offense was terrible. They went 3 and out. I think 8 out of 10 times they had the ball, or at least they only converted 2 third downs. And the defense was tired because of that, and it just cycled into what we now know as one of the worst losses I've seen since I've been here. But Brock said they're going to need the time off. So what would you have to say to that? Like, why do you think this is going to be bad for them?
Well, I mean, right, the football season, and I think I have this in like one of the first paragraphs. It's a 3-month long grind. I mean, so if you're coming in after one game and saying, "Oh, we're tight," like, we really need this week to rest, progress, whatever that may be. I don't know if that's a good sign, especially since you got 10 games, boom, 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 all in a row, no rest. I mean, if I was Marist, I'd rather have that game against Bucknell on this Saturday when we're recording, have a bye somewhere in the conference schedule, like hopefully midway through, and then just kind of go from there. Because that's a great time to reset. Because I mean, you pick up injuries every game. It could be severe. It could just be a little nagging thing. But that bye week is a great time to like have those guys rest and kind of rehabilitate those injuries that are they might not stop a guy from playing, but they definitely have an impact. And for the bye week to be week 2, I just and I understand where you're coming from. Hopefully the offense can progress and stuff, but it might be better to just have that, like, these out of conference games. I mean, they're kind of just glorified scrimmages. They don't really count for anything. So I think it's better to kind of progress against live action teams that are better than the teams they're going to be facing in the PFL. But I see it both ways.
Well, they need the live reps, John alluded to, and how are they going to get live reps if they're off this week? They just came into the season, get smacked in the face, and can't even speak on it until week 3 of the football season. I think this is boding terribly for the team. If I'm a fan, you gotta hope they take it up a notch entering PFL play. Of course, the next game they play Columbia, so another non-conference opponent who they can, kind of, as John said, scrimmage against. But
I mean, for lack of a better term,
But I mean, last year Columbia beat them and
beat them pretty good.
Pretty good. Like, they couldn't really do anything against Columbia in the city. And so I don't know how you can look up and Well, hope, really.
And-
I hate to be very bleak,
Yeah.
but
No, and here's the thing: you play Columbia next week, and then to start off your PFL season, you're playing Drake, and away too. So you better be in tip-top shape after this game, or else. Just starting your PFL season on the road against Drake, and you got to play St. Thomas, and then you go the early half of the season isn't that easy. I don't know what these teams' rosters are looking like after last year, but I know with Butler they had the ugliest. Should have been
was a tough
easy win. That was a tough loss. That's the 22nd. You don't really get a break. Yeah, you don't get a break.
There's no break, and every team other than Marist either has a break like the week before play starts or during the conference schedule. And it's just, and they have a manageable schedule, but because they don't play either of the two teams that were projected in the top two. I think that was San Diego for one, of course.
Yeah.
David, I think Davidson
yeah.
was two. But I mean, it's still like, that extra week in conference could really go a long way for them. And I think like getting back to, this game against Columbia coming up next week, I don't think it's really fair to evaluate the two non-conference games.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a better sense, because it's like, I was I actually ran into women's basketball coach Brian Georges up in the press box, and we were talking about it. And, we were both talking about like, they lost, but it's kind of like apples and oranges, with the PFL scholarship rule and stuff like that. I mean, they're just going up against bigger, stronger, faster teams. And unfortunately, a 43-12 thrashing at home is a byproduct of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you look at the season, and you got Drake, who was projected 7th, so right around where Marist is projected at 6th. So that could go either way. But then you got to play St. Thomas, who's the third seed, and that's your toughest opponent for the rest of the season.
Yep.
You got to play in week 2. You get no breaks after that, and then you better hope you're in a winning shape for these Butler, Presbyterian, Morehead State games, because or actually Morehead State's gonna be tougher, but I know Valpo isn't ranked that high. So yeah.
I still sorry, Dan.
No, continue.
I still think the defense will be fun. I'm not that worried about the defense, even though they just had 40 dropped on them. That's solely because they didn't get any break. The offense got on the field, 3 and out, get off the field quick, or an interception. Which I believe there were 3 in the game total. And so defense didn't get any favors from the offense. And if you watch that first quarter, they stood tall. And I think that's more of a reflection of what you'll see from this team this year rather than the rest of the game. But I think the first game made it very clear that there's no true number 1 target or weapon on this team, or that they've yet to discover. The one guy who I think made a great spark was Glenmore Leonard Osborne on special teams and when he got offensive touches. And Coach alluded to possibly using him more in the coming weeks, which I think would be a wise decision. But you need to find your identity before you get into PFL play, and they only have one more shot. So,
right on. Yeah, and just looking at this rushing splits, Woods and Devin Thompson were miserable.
Well, I think Thompson. I don't think
Woods
was too great. I think Thompson had like a nice little like.
He had an 8-yard run. I remember that.
Some nice little sparks.
Yeah.
And they tried to get him involved in the passing game too. I think he had a few drops. Don't quote me on that. But Woods was definitely the featured back this game, and they just couldn't push. The offensive line couldn't push for him, and just no gains.
I think we, because there was like a lot of experience returning on the offensive line, we kind of tabbed them as, okay, maybe they can be
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
the I don't know, like the leaders of the offense, or at least set a good foundation up front. But going off of last year, Marist not being able to average 100 yards on the ground, like I don't know if that's like necessarily a good thing. You're bringing experience, like they're gonna. It's not like because they're a year older they're gonna be better. Like I mean, maybe they're gonna have to prove themselves. And again, I think we can get. I'm okay with giving them a break until that Drake game. If Columbia comes in here and wins by 50, okay, but let's see what happens when the PFL starts. So it's going to be interesting to track that because, usually you see the running back and you judge them based on the numbers, but that's not really fair because, if they don't have any blocking, I don't think Bijan Robinson or Sean Tucker, or gotta get a Sean Tucker reference in for my cues. But you need blocking, and if the offensive line can't block, then it's going to be
absolutely
a lot.
And I mean, you look at all those guys' numbers, and that's what I'm saying too. It's don't look at those numbers and make an opinion based off that. We all watched the game. We saw guys who gave the sparks. I think that's what the coaches are trying to see as well, trying to form that identity. And now, like, another position group, well, not a position group, but side of the ball that you got to be worried about, special teams. Same deal as the offensive line. Another set of veterans returning, and we didn't put much of an eye into them because we thought, they know what to do. They've been here long enough. But Dominic Donahue had a rough time punting. He had two punts blocked. And then Luke Palladino, unfortunately, going down with that injury. It looked like his right ankle. And I mean, they have Chase Gardy as a backup kicker. Probably get him going. Dominic Donahue could kick too. But this is a whole special teams we have to watch out now. Is this going to be an ongoing storyline the rest of the year?
Yeah, they imploded. Simple as that. And props to Parody for taking full responsibility during the press conference because there's no other way to say it. There was some internal issue there that it made the whole. I thought that game you were going to see some identity, which is what we were talking about, and that just it left a gaping hole in their objectives. I think they're gonna hopefully emphasize that the ground rules of special teams is, you got to be the bridge for the offensive defense, right? You got to just be okay. 2 block punts is unbelievable. That's just unacceptable, especially just to open the season. That's terrible. But yeah, that special team is awful. But hopefully, like you said, Leonard Osborne. Hopefully, he's going to provide some good, a spark in that kick return. And I don't know, was he taking punt return too?
No, Clay Fields was taking punt return.
They might give him less because he got injured 3 separate times. I feel like.
Yeah. I think Clay will be fine. Based on what I've seen, I think he'll be playing Columbia. He'll be just fine. But yeah, he did. A couple of guys got hurt a few times. Teddy Wright, got hurt during that game.
Yeah, that was miserable. It's just I think there's not much else to say other than next game I just want to see someone on either side of the ball just makes an impact. Wow. I want someone to just be wow, this is something to look forward to because didn't really have much to look forward to that game. And hopefully, get Leonard Osborne some more reps in the rushing game. He had only 2 rushes for 8 yards, but that's good. It seems good. And he had a few catches as well. I think he had one 12-yard catch. That was pretty cool.
If we're talking about 12-yard
catches,
that kind of tells you where we are.
Yeah. And there was no drive that went from even a good position or a bad position down the field to a score. They got
I mean,
their scores off of good field position. That first,
There's one, yeah.
yeah,
There's
and,
one pass from Baaaaaaaaaack.
Lombana.
Well,
that 43 yard, yeah. It was that 43-yard catch, and that was an impressive drive. But like, you gotta see, like, I just want to see more impressive drives downfield.
And that game is an example of how all three facets, not just offense and defense, but how they all complement each other. I mean, if your offense isn't, taking up time on drives, your defense could start out well, but the more they're on the field, the more tired they're going to get, the more Georgetown can just run right through them, pound the ball, and then if your special teams isn't at least going to bail you out when you have to punt, then good luck, because that just leads to more points on the board, more better field position, all that stuff. So it was really a rough scene for all three, and I think the good news is hopefully it has to get better from here.
Yeah, Coach Parody made it clear post game to us that he's going to try to emphasize to the group next week that yes, all three facets of the game complement each other, and you have to understand that. Because he clearly recognized that was the biggest issue. The phases of the game, you gotta all complement each other, as John said, and it just did not click that game.
Yeah. I mean, who do you bring to the press conference? Himself was more the special teams guy, Brock, and what's his name?
Dominic Dutton.
Yeah. Those are three figureheads of the three pieces of offense, or of their playbook. So
yeah.
I hope they emphasize that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if this is on our agenda, but I feel like we got to talk about quarterbacks, because I mean, it's right. You got the old saying, like, if you have two quarterbacks, do you really have any quarterbacks?
Right.
And like, I think because I feel like the assumption was that it was just kind of Bagozi's, he was just going to go in and take the starting job, and I don't know if that hurt his confidence. It definitely probably makes him feel like he has to, perform better with a guy, who Parody will take him out for. But, it obviously wasn't a great performance by either quarterback. I mean, Bagozi was all right. Arroyo, not so much. So I'm going to pose this to you guys. Did Bagozi play himself into the starting role, or did Arroyo maybe play himself out of it?
Well, I think Arroyo, I'll put this out right away. I think Arroyo was put in the bad spots from play calling too. I think because like those were his interceptions came from third and long deep shots, which yes, you got to be conservative. You got to throw the ball away. You can't throw them deep when you're in that situation in double coverage. But you did just have two runs that went nowhere, and what are you going to do to try to advance the drive? So I get that from Arroyo, and he's a young quarterback, so it's fine. Now, just as young as Arroyo is Brock Bagozi, and makes you think how what was his mindset entering training camp? Did he think it was a lock, and maybe he didn't put his best effort during the off season or training camp? I don't want to bash him because he's clearly very talented. There's a reason last year they entrusted him to replace Austin Day on multiple occasions and performed very well at some points. Bryant, as we mentioned in our previews. But something was off. I don't know if maybe it's lack of confidence in his targets. Last year he had Dwayne Menders. Last year, even though they didn't have a great running game, he had running backs that were dependable. Then again, who knows with the offensive line? I have no clue what his mindset was. But that might have been affecting his play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I think they should have kept with Bagazi that entire first game. And I know it's preseason. I know it's this is for pretty much preseason. But how, and no disrespect to Coach Perry, but how are you going to kill this kid's confidence when right we didn't know he was not going to get some snaps right before the game. And I just feel like, he wasn't let's make something clear. He wasn't impressive, I'd say. I think his mid ball and deep ball accuracy was actually pretty good on the day. And you look at his receivers, there was a lot of dropped passes. I mean, especially in that first half, I feel like he was really starting to get in rhythm and drive downfield. And I just remember some pretty bad drops on his receivers. And I really think he played into the starting role with the help of Arroyo, just forcing it too much. We talked about this all like the whole day. It was like he didn't have to do that. They weren't going to win this game, and he was just bombing it downfield. I really wanted to see some maturity out of Arroyo. But I think you got to give Baaaaaaaaaack all the snaps next game, and you just have to be like, look, if you want this role, come and take it, all right? Because he has the power to make one of these receivers look like the star. And in my opinion, like his passing, he has the full ability to make one of these receivers have like, a 6 reception, 80-yard game. And it just wasn't there that game. I think he earned the starting role, but you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and you see a lot of this in college football now, like, and at the start of the season, them trotting out, two quarterbacks, for a couple drives here, a couple drives there. And I don't really understand why people keep doing that. It's just gotten to the point where, like, just get, like you were saying, Dan, just give one guy the ball, and and I don't know what's, I watched him play a scrimmage a couple weeks ago. But we don't know what's going on in practice. Maybe Arroyo was doing really good, and that's why Parody did it. But I just feel like you got it, like, to really set the tone. Just give Baaaaaaaaaack the ball. Just let him. And I think he actually, kind of when they went to the air more, I think he got a little better after they started kind of, when they were down, and maybe that's Georgetown just playing, off coverage and making Marist chew the clock. But I thought Baaaaaaaack wasn't bad. I think he'll definitely start going forward.
Well, this is where I get into play calling. That the drive you're alluding to, John, was early in the first half, and he got him in a rhythm. It was fast paced. There wasn't these inside zones that went nowhere. There was short intermediate routes, leading to short intermediate completions with run after the catchability, and it was just play after play, and they drove for a field goal, and they needed more of that instead of these drive killers. And I just felt like I know you gotta have your run to set up the passing game. I get that old school mindset, but it was clearly working in the first half when you had Baaaaaaaack going to these receivers for quick passes, and I don't know why they went away from that.
It's the first week. Just take your time, settle into things, and that's what's going to make this defense, get into rhythm. You like this defense. They gotta get into rhythm. Give them something. It was like, it was painful. You knew what they had to do to, like, just get in any rhythm, and they just were not taking their time at all.
And I know we're being critical, but at the same time, I don't, like we said earlier, I don't want to be too critical right now.
No, absolutely.
No, 100%. Yeah.
If this happens against Drake or St. Thomas in a couple weeks, then there's a real issue. Okay. That's if that happens against a team that you're supposed to be on an even playing field with, then that's concerning. But the reality is, Georgetown's here and Marist. Well,
yeah.
For you listening, I'm saying that Georgetown is on a higher level than Marist, and that's just how it is.
And believe me, Marist knew that, and we're being critical just because we think there is some promise here. They could definitely have some stuff to work with. And we're not play callers, obviously,
No.
but they totally. I'm not. I'm not waving the flag yet. It's totally. They have some stuff they can work on, and
Yeah,
just don't know right now.
We'll see what changes for the Columbia game.
I say give it till the end of September.
Yeah.
Till the end of September, we'll see. We'll pick this up from there.
I totally agree.
Just early initial reactions.
Yeah, and we got some other stuff we can start talking about. We got some other sports that are popping right now. I'm doing volleyball this year.
Volleyball beat
writer this year. Not to toot my own horn. I do know how volleyball works. I know how to play volleyball. I played in the game of volleyball in my life. This is going to be a very new learning experience for me, though. Christian Aulbach, former volleyball beat writer. I actually shadowed him one game, and it was entertaining. Like it was good sport. Volleyball they're competitive. I'm honored to take this role, and I want to give him a best shot, give it a good crack. So
Dan, excited to have you take the first thing I ever wrote for center field was a volleyball gamer.
Oh, really?
Which is because I didn't like bump set spike. That's what I knew.
That's the way you like it. Yeah.
But yeah, it would definitely be great for you. A learning experience. I think they, and I've only seen stuff on Twitter, but it seems like they're having a decent start to the season. And again, we'll know with pretty much every team. Maybe men's soccer excluded because men's soccer is good. We'll
Best team
know
on campus.
Yes, we'll know what it's like for those kind of teams once they get into MAC play, and now it's coming up, so it's kind of
right. No, totally. But what do you guys got going on in center field right now? What's popping? You guys are the head editors. Give the people some highlights. What is gonna start popping in center field?
Andrew, you tell me. What do you think? What do you think's popping?
What's popping?
What's popping? What's popping for you before I go on my rant?
I don't know.
How are you liking being the managing editor?
You can't just say you're gonna go on a rant and just let us go like that.
Andrew, you got
my spiel, my rant. What do you want me to say?
Now I want to hear this rant, but I'll make it short and sweet. We want more I want more multimedia content. I want to see more people step up to the plate and record videos or more podcasts on center field. I think that's what makes this a lot of fun too. We can all, because we're all journalists when writing for center field, but this is kind of like how we get our voices out. We give out our opinions, our little op-eds on here, and I think that's a lot of fun, and I think more people should take advantage of that. So I'm hoping for more of that this semester.
No, look, journalism is ever evolving, and it's good timing for us to start. I mean, last year we had so much fun with this. I would totally encourage anyone who's in center field to come on our podcast and experiment, do your own thing. There's a lot of sports here, so.
Actually, I think I know what John's about to get into. I'm gonna take a stab. Is this the little meeting you had the other day?
Yes, it's I can divulge some exciting news here that
breaking
center
news.
field is officially on the way to becoming a chartered club at Marist College. It's gonna be a long, we're hoping to get it done by the end of the semester. It's gonna be a long, bureaucratic process. We're gonna go through SGA and all of these, paperwork and inquiries and stuff. But me and Ricardo, our deputy editor, met with SGA people Friday morning and had a great conversation. I mean, really, we showed them our magazine, and I think that had them hooked from because if we can put out a magazine, then I think we can. We're organized enough to be a club. But that's a big thing, and definitely just looking to grow our membership Because Andrew and I are both seniors. We have a lot of seniors. I wish we had more Dans. I wish Dan could clone himself into like 5 people. That would make me happy. But if you're listening to this, you're a sports comm student or something like that, come to a meeting, tell your friends, because we want to make this. We want to make this big. We want to really take the next step, and I think we have that foundation laid, and it's kind of just building on that and seeing where we're going. But I'm really excited for this year.
And I gotta say, I was very impressed with our first official meetings turnout.
Stole my point. That was a great meeting.
That was a great meeting, and the room was packed to the gills. It was probably a COVID hotspot. But
wow.
But it got me very encouraged that we'll have a lot of new members this year, and there were a lot of young potential new center field members. That got me very excited. Except what didn't get me excited was John putting us all on the spot. And he got to feel a little bit. He got to feel a little bit of the pain at the end when.
I got put on the spot and I didn't handle it well.
He gave us these icebreakers, and he asked me to state an interesting fact about myself. And
that was an interesting fact.
But then he gave Mr. Dan Aulbach the icebreaker of what's your favorite Boston sports team. I'm like, why couldn't you give me something that easy?
And I was like, well, Jonathan,
I asked someone what their favorite color was.
Well, Jonathan, let me tell you my favorite Boston sports team. Like I could run circles around that question.
You know what? You guys put me on. I'm going to put you guys on the spot to put me on the spot. One of you guys put me on the spot with something right now.
Oh man. Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Greatest sports memory.
Greatest sports memory. Okay. Got to be Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters.
Good. That's a recent one, and I love that. That was.
I am a pretty stoic person. I don't really show a lot of emotion, but that day was there was some waterworks going, man. I gotta say, like, I was thinking about it was either that or Syracuse UConn 6 overtimes from like 12 or 13 years ago. I got to stay up for that game, but yeah, that
was a great. I remember exactly where I was. I forgot what weekend that was. It was the U.S. Open. No.
For Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger.
It was the Masters,
right?
So
Masters. So it was late.
April.
Late
April, I think.
I remember where I was. I was on the car on my way back from Florida, and we had that on Sirius.
Sirius XM.
We put it on and got to hear the end.
I remember the walk to 18. That was crazy.
Ooh, that was a mess.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That golf got. I think we all watch a little golf here and there. I watch golf pretty frequently. I don't know.
John doesn't just watch here and there.
Oh no, I didn't mean to disrespect him.
You can't do.
I don't know. Do we want that out in the open that I'm an active golf watcher? Am I going to get like?
No. Trust me.
For that?
I every major and like every FedEx Cup tourney. Yeah. It something about it. I don't know. I think I was just forced to watch golf so much. Not forced, but like it was just always on that I just like got the ball rolling, and now I just like watching golf. So.
Got the ball rolling. Good.
Wow, double entendre. Yeah.
Okay, John. Now here's my icebreaker for you.
Okay.
Let me put you on the spot.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna stumble. Your favorite piece of journalism, our good friend and mentor Leander Sherlackens.
Ooh. Now you're assuming that I've read something. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Leander. I did read that the piece he did about Donald Trump's batting average.
Oh yes.
In high school, and I also read he got something published in the New York Times a couple years ago about David Beckham. But I remember the Trump one.
I remember hearing about that one.
I remember the Trump one more, so I'll just say that because that like have your opinions on Trump, and most people think, I'm not going to get political, staying away from politics, but but like the journalism, like that was really tough because you're going back, you're interviewing, you're looking in the archives and stuff through old box scores. That's kind of what I think of when I think of like investigative journalism is doing that kind of stuff, and I'm sure Leander had a good time writing that article.
Yeah, when he showed us that story during sports reporting, I just imagine the scene of him going to the library and the old 1950s piece of paper, just looking through the laminated sheet, and just oh man.
I think my favorite Leander content is whenever he talks about Barcelona and just how much of a dumpster fire they are. Like, it's just so funny. Every tweet. Yeah, I remember when the Messi contract leaked. That was a fun one. But just stuff like that just gets me going. He gets into a swing of things when talking about Barcelona. So
shout out Leander.
But yeah, now that we just put you on the spot,
I handled that better than I did at the meeting.
Now, yeah, with the meeting, it was like, you had your first meeting jitters, just natural. That's what happens.
The looser setting here.
We couldn't tell, but we knew they were there.
Mm-hmm.
We're not out to eat you. So
this is the expose of Jonathan Kinane.
Yeah. Is that why I'm here? No.
Yeah, we're just putting you. This is just an hour of putting you on the spot.
Take a seat.
I guess I'll talk about more of what I got going on.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Planning on getting an article out about the volleyball, the challenge changes. They're doing some VAR. So we'll see what happens there. I'm gonna, Andrew and I are gonna set up a few interviews with the volleyball team. Probably do that sometime this week. Get the preview out. I'm gonna start writing next weekend for the first weekend series they got going on. So that'll be interesting. But I love talking about Marist hoops. So it's hopefully gonna get a lot of Marist hoops content.
That'll be, and I'm hoping we end up going to that open tryout for walk-ons.
To try out, or to report.
Are we trying out, or are we covering it?
No, we have someone. We have someone try out, but they're covering it.
All right, who we got to nominate someone?
They're kind of like.
Oh. I think we should have Christian do it.
I want Ramos.
No, we need Jacob to do this.
Oh wait,
yes,
that'd be great. But Jacob can only apply to be try out to be a coach. He's got to be on the sidelines.
He does have to.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. I could totally see him as a Marist hoops coach.
He wouldn't be wearing the 3/4 pull-ups. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
it's all about style with Jacob. That's what he says.
No.
I remember these conversations.
How could you forget? No, but that would be cool. I want to see what those look like. Have we done those before? Do they happen every year?
Well, they're doing one I think they happen when there's roster spots that need to be filled, because you get I think 14 or 15 roster spots.
Yeah.
And with all the ins and outs,
They definitely had one last year, because that's how they got Tom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that was only one spot left. So
yeah, and in his interview with me for my feature on him, he went in great detail about how the tryout process worked, and it's a few weeks process. It's not just the one tryout and then they put you on a team. They have you in for multiple workouts and put you in a little trial run to see if you really want to be on the team, even after the tryouts. So it's a long, stringent process, but there's definitely a lot of interest in the.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but for a basketball team that has their roster almost filled, there's a decent amount of interest. Good options to choose from.
Yeah, look, I mean, they need a dynamic playmaking point guard, and I'm totally ready to fill it. This. Hey, John, coach, just give me a call whenever. I'll show up if you want me to.
Coach Dunn.
I can facilitate it. I can get it done.
You want me to fix your jump shot? I could be your shooting coach.
That'd be great. Yeah, we got to get like a
Get those
whole.
workouts in.
It's gonna be like Hard Knocks, except it's just content of me prepping to try out for the Marist basketball team.
You want a
That'd be fun.
you want to predict, you want a hot take
ahead.
on the season?
Oh yeah, Marist hoops. Go ahead.
Which
Noah
hoops?
Harris, no matter how bad Marist is, Noah Harris will have an all MAC first team caliber season.
Oh, hot
completely.
take.
It is a hot take. I completely agree. And just based on what I saw last season, I interviewed him a few times. He's ready. If there's anything to look forward to this season, Matt McCool, because he's from New Hampshire.
Matt McCool.
And that's
Great
just a
last
sick,
name.
that's just a
Good
baller
name, yeah.
name. B, Noah Harris stayed. He's looking to do some. He stayed, and he's looking to, put us on the map.
So I've done a little research on the transfers, and there's this guy, Cam Ferris, in from I think Robert Morris. It is, and he seems like he's a solid player too. So I'm thinking we're gonna have the Harris and Ferris show.
Ooh,
I think that's what
the Harris Ferris wheel, if you will.
The Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I
Are
like
you,
that.
are you predicting that this season will be better than the experts think?
Oh, I'm not gonna go that far.
Are there
I did
projections
actually
out?
see, I did see someone put out like some kind of prediction thing that had Marist up to 7th out of 11. And I'm skeptical, if I would say if that happened, I wouldn't be unhappy, with the state of the team, but definitely going to be a big year for John Dunn, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole we can get down in a month and a half or so.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything really, but it would. What were they, fifth or sixth last year? It'd be pretty.
It was 5th, yeah.
It'd be pretty miraculous if they stood up to that. I mean, we can go on and on about the losses this year, but Andrew and I have already run circles around that.
That became almost a full episode to the transfers.
We did. That was a fun one. We were just like, oh, well, this guy's gone. That stinks. Oh, this guy's gone. That stinks. But hey, at the time we only had 3 transfers, and now we got 6 or 7. So, yeah, maybe more, but who knows? Marist hoops is always fun to watch. So.
Yeah, I'll be at a lot more games this season for sure. We need the energy up.
Yes.
So. And I won't be covering them, so I could be a fan.
Oh, good for you. There we go. Hey, you know what? I'm just hyped for the St. Peter's game, the first St. Peter's game.
Oh,
because if we beat them, then we're better than Kentucky. We're better than Purdue.
Murray State.
Murray
State.
We can put up a fight against UNC.
And all the teams that those teams beat.
Yes. That's true.
So
I think I remember.
I'm gonna pull up the bracket right now. I'll tell you the teams that Marist will be better than if they beat St. Peter's. NCAA
this is
Marist versus the world.
Yep. Hold on.
Good stuff.
2022 NCAA tournament bracket.
I think it's when did the schedule come out?
The non-conference schedules just dropped.
Oh, really?
And Marist women have their full schedule now.
Now, Marist women have an interesting home opener.
I don't want to get sucked down the rabbit hole here, but Villanova's best player, guess where she's from?
Syracuse.
Close. Right here in beautiful Poughkeepsie.
Wow.
He hails from Poughkeepsie, so that's going to be a very interesting game.
Okay.
A power conference team in McCann. Women's basketball always draws pretty well, so I'm sure that'll be a great atmosphere to start Georges' final season.
That's gonna be cool.
And women's, we talk about men's basketball. Women's basketball had their own demons last year.
We got into that too. Yeah.
Also, there's seemed to be some team chemistry stuff kind of going on, and they had some some girls transfer out.
That's
They've
never-
got some freshmen in. Point guard Jackie Pittick. She should be a pretty exciting player.
There we go.
But yeah,
We're definitely looking to keep people updated about the women's hoops more this time around this season.
hey, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's
You
what
got
you're
me
here
for
for.
another
Recurring.
year of it.
Yeah, you're locked in. We got that basketball showcase coming up too, right?
In England.
The London one, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
that'll be interesting. Shout out you, Maine. I think
Maine.
that would be
They're about
interesting.
to take this L. That
Yeah.
fateful day.
And one of our transfers on the men's side
Yes.
actually played at Maine.
Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
Stephane Ingo. So
That's
Cool.
full
cool.
of storylines.
Homecoming game across the pond.
Yeah, yeah.
I have
That'll
the 2022 NCAA tournament men's bracket up, by the way.
Shoot, give us some names.
So if Marist beats St. Peter's, who themselves had a lot of transfers,
We're better than Baylor.
we'd be better than Baylor. We'd be,
Nice. Oh, yeah.
UNC beat them.
Well, we didn't
Well,
beat.
we
didn't beat UNC. So
Okay. We're
didn't
We can't
beat-
say we when like we're
Yeah.
St. Peter's.
Yeah, didn't beat UNC.
Damn it.
Oh, true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. St. Peter's beat. Well, we're supporters of the MAC.
Oh, Mac. Yeah.
So we're
No, yeah, it's
MAC
up.
fans.
I like that.
So
Nah.
if Marist beats St. Peter's, they'd be better than St. Mary's,
Okay.
St. Mary's is a good team.
Indiana,
Okay.
Mike Woodson.
UCLA,
Okay.
Overrated.
Akron.
They're in the MAC. So wait, they're in the MAC.
They're in
too.
the yes.
Who has
Wow.
a better claim to the MAC? The MAC or the MAC?
Well,
Right?
if you add the
That's
extra
true.
A, you're better.
Yeah.
The
You
Mocs.
can say it.
Think
You
about
can
it.
say it for
Zach
longer.
Single A to double A.
Zach Arth calls it the mock. He calls
Mock.
it the
I like
mock.
that. Like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting debate, but I gotta say we can say it longer. They have to go back. We can go back. Just a little more leeway. Shout out Zach Arth, by the way.
New assistant
fun.
director.
Hope he's bowling somewhere right
Hope he's
now.
bowling, yeah. The bowling league just started, he was telling me.
Oh, good.
And he supposedly, according to sources, had a very good draft. So
Oh, nice. Is it like fantasy bowling? Like they draft players?
it's not. It's real bowling,
Oh, I know it's
but-
real bowling,
but they draft.
They do draft.
They draft.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
He
awesome.
says he drafted someone better than him. So he
Look, I would get crushed if I bowled against Arth, but I put up a good fight. We're talking New Hampshire varsity bowler.
You're talking Bama, Texas style of putting up a good fight, or
No, I'd say like Marist, Georgetown, but it's
A good.
like I'd open up well and then just crumble. So
Hold on, we still got more, by the way. Marist,
Oh
if they
man.
beat St. Peter's, they'd be better than the aforementioned Texas Longhorns.
Horns down.
Horns down. They'd be better than the reigning ACC tournament champion Virginia Tech.
Not bad.
Oh, that's right.
They would be better than, of course, Purdue.
yeah, I had beat Tech going pretty far in the bracket. I remember.
I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the people that had Iowa.
I had Iowa State. I had Iowa State in the Final Four.
Former mock coach, coaching Iowa. Little Fran McCaffrey. Former Siena coach. They'd be better than Yale. So a little bit of Ivy League action. Of course, Murray State. They'd be better than the University of San Francisco.
The Dons.
The Dons. And, of course, as we mentioned, Kentucky.
Yeah,
That's the full list.
we got a lot to look forward to for our boys.
It's
It's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Maybe
Lots on
not
the
for
line.
basketball, but for center field, it's going to be a good
Yes.
It's
year.
gonna be a great year.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much it from us, guys. I think we about covered everything MAC sports
And then
or
some.
Marist sports. Yeah, and that's
well, we haven't covered I want to get some more eyes on men's soccer real quick.
Okay.
I know we
good
briefly,
ball.
I know
How
we,
can we
I know,
forget?
I know we briefly mentioned them, but they are the best team on campus this year. I'm gonna go out
That
and make
is
the bold
true.
prediction. They'll be the best team throughout the whole year.
Wow.
They themselves had
They were the best team last year.
the reigning mock champion, Marist Red Foxes. I'm gonna call them mock now. They had a lot of transfers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Petty, of course, at Maryland, and
Yeah, that hurts.
and of course the leading goal scorer last year. Of course, a few more players going away. But they're off to a great start this year in their non-conference schedule. They had their home opener in the rain.
Oh yeah, I was there
that other night, and that was electric. I
Yeah,
was watching on ESPN Plus. Cheap
nice.
plug. Nick
Who they
Skidmore.
play? Albany.
They
Right?
played Albany. They
Albany.
played the Danes. That was a. I didn't watch the whole game, because I had to go somewhere, but I know they won.
Yes.
We got a game later today.
Yep,
There's a
Florida
game
Atlantic.
tonight, Florida Atlantic.
I'll probably go check out the first half, take some pictures for that one.
Good.
They look. I mean, they lost some guys. They brought in some. Brought in some talent, both with freshmen. I think it's like 13 newcomers, and they brought in a couple transfers. I think they brought in 2 guys from St. John's, a guy from South Carolina.
They basically made they made a trade with St. John's pretty much.
Exactly.
I forgot who transferred to St. John's, but I know they got guys back from St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
it's not shout out Andre Cutler, sophomore legend. My Leo first floor floor mate, I guess you would say.
There you go.
Good dude.
Yeah. No. But even though they had transfers, it's not like they're lacking veteran leadership. I mean, Sam Elan is a good goalie.
Yeah.
Skylar Conway, Enrique Cruz.
Yeah.
They have players, and I think they have a great chance to repeat as MAC champions. It's not like their quality's dropped off that much. And
I just want to reiterate about the leadership. Like when I was at the game on Monday, I was standing right off the field, right there, and I don't remember the kid's name. He's a freshman winger, and the whole time you could just hear the more experienced players basically coaching him on the field. And I was like, that's kind of cool. How many other teams really do that? So that was good to see. I think Marist is the favorite in the MAC to. I mean, they were almost unanimously picked in the preseason to repeat. So I think it's them, almost them versus the field, almost. Maybe not that far, but almost.
Almost. Yeah. Shout out Luke, by the way, for a great preview.
Luke Sasso.
Luke.
Yeah.
Fellow editor. New editor.
Yeah. Part of the young core with me.
The future.
That's yeah. But
you don't sound too excited for that.
No, okay, hold on. I hear it so much. Like I know I'm just.
What the future?
What's your mindset entering next season?
Oh wow!
I'm questioning. I'm questioning your mindset.
Look, we got a lot of people leaving, but there's one junior that's coming back, and his name is Daniel Dessler. Lovely guy, great guy.
Next in line to be Mr. Marist after Ramos graduates.
Yeah, he's a candidate for sure.
Oh yeah, that's Mr. Marist for sure. But I know that throughout this fall semester and spring semester, I'm going to get so much experience.
Yes, you are.
From you guys. Editing experience first off. I can't wait to dive into that. Just get my feet wet, and then I know Luke and I we're gonna be good next year.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are always around, and like we're gonna build off what we built this year. So this year is really important, and I just want to I remind myself every week, got to stay as active as possible, because it's going to look a lot different next year, but I'm so ready for it. I'm ready for whatever comes.
That's good, because after I graduate, I'm changing my phone number and deleting Slack.
Yes.
You'll have absolutely
And-
no way to reach me.
And he'll be joining
Yeah.
the Live Tour.
Yeah.
They finally made you an offer. Oh, good. Yeah,
But
I can
you-
see you.
we're-
I can see you take some shots at the Live.
Take the easy money. I
What's
guess.
your number?
What's my hat? What's my? That's a.
No, what's your like? What
How
makes
much
you
money?
walk away? Yeah. Can we not say? I don't know.
I don't know. If you put $100 million in my face, am I really going to say no to that? Are you guys going to say no to that?
Absolutely not.
Well,
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
exactly. And that's the thing with that. But getting back to center field stuff, going to be great. We're gonna impart all of our senior wisdom on you. You're going to be an old man not by the end of the year,
Oh,
not
wow.
by the end of the semester, by the end of the month. Okay,
Oh, wow.
For
we're gonna get to you that quickly.
Wow.
Like deadlines.
Let's go. Let's ride.
And you know, with journalism, you got to meet deadlines. So it's
Yeah.
it's
Deadlines.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm a big procrastinator, so that will go. That's gonna go.
Part of the,
It's already left. It left last year, so look, you guys are already killing it this year, and
Everyone is.
I
You're
know
part
no
of
one.
that, my friend.
I know no one's scared for the future. Everyone's just excited for what we got going on. We're gonna be a club when it passes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully when the torch
see-
passes.
They'll see that Dan Aulbach will be the editor-in-chief, and then they'll say, sorry, we can't have that.
When the torch passes, that Olympic torch, and I'm not saying I'm necessarily the editor-in-chief next year. We got a lot of good young people like Luke, and that's pretty much it. But I'm kidding.
They'll see that Danny Dessler is gonna be the editor-in-chief next year. And they're gonna be like, yes, please.
Yes, we do anything. We do anything. So
Oh,
No,
I
we
hope
got it.
Danny listens to this.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, please. Former guest of the show.
he is a guest on the show. Well, not recurring yet, but
He'll be recurring.
he will be. He won't be the only recurring. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty much it from us, guys.
Sure.
But we are so pumped for what's coming this year. Like, we got, Andrew mentioned all the multimedia stuff. Jonathan, you already mentioned our goal to be chartered. It's going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be fun.
Hey.
So,
I just want to say thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thank
It's
you for
Saturday
gracing us.
afternoon, but there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now.
there's nothing I can do other
Yeah.
than do this.
Yeah.
So,
You're a prisoner.
yeah. But I got my basketball shirt on.
You're ready for the tryouts.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh,
I
you're
told
ready.
you guys. They need a dynamic playmaking point guard, and I am that guy. So, just I got that chemistry with Matt McCool.
New Hampshire chemist.
Town over with me.
It's
Yeah,
like-
I gotta meet him. I gotta talk to him.
That's just as good as like the FIFA chemistry fits. You're both from the
Yeah,
same.
green. There's like the green line.
You
Oh, yeah,
got the line.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But
Well,
and before we get off, I'm gonna tease a little tease.
okay.
We might have a new look next episode. You guys will see.
What does that mean? You guys don't know.
You
You'll
don't
see.
know yet.
You're gonna have to stay tuned.
I don't know anything.
Jonathan.
Yeah, that's right.
just-
We haven't even briefed Jonathan about this.
I'm out of the loop here, guys.
You're just
Oh,
thinking about your Live Tour contract.
Yeah, you're just thinking.
Yeah,
True.
you're right.
True.
All right. All right. I guess we're signing off. So that's it from me. I'm Dan Aulbach, Andrew Hard. Jonathan, thank you once again for being on our show. All I gotta say, slogan for this part of the season, Back Country. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Back is on the map.
Right.
It's back.
We're on the map. Let's go. Let's go, baby. All right. Peace out.